Cover Donald Trump. You're here. You're here for Donald Trump.
I'm here for Trump. He's back, folks.
This is very controversial because CNN done did it again. They did it for us.
Yeah.
They want Donald Trump to be president, and it's content.
Liberals.
For CNN's town.
What?
Liberals can never. I'm learning about, because I am a liberal. I am learning that liberals can never win in these situations. Every time CNN's like, we're gonna get him. We're gonna bring him on CNN.
No,
We're gonna get him.
I think they know. They know what they're doing.
Okay.
I think they know what they're doing. I think
Right.
CNN's like, no, Trump is content. We want the ratings. We want him to be president again.
Town hall with former President Donald Trump. I'm Caitlin Collins. Tonight, President Trump is here as he embarks on a campaign unlike any other in the history of U.S. presidential elections. Please welcome the frontrunner for the Republican nomination, former President Donald Trump. President Trump, thank you for your time here tonight. We got a great crowd here in New Hampshire, a lot of voters with a lot of questions about what your 2024 term would look like. Your first term ended with a deadly riot at the Capitol, and you still have not publicly acknowledged the 2020 election results. Why should Americans put you back in the White House?
Because we did fantastically. We got 12 million more votes than we had in, as you know, in 2016. I actually say we did far better in that election. Got the most that anybody's ever gotten as a sitting president of the United States. I think that when you look at that result and when you look at what happened during that election, unless you're a very stupid person, you see what happens. A lot of the people.
Dude, they
lost.
Stacked the room with his supporters, dude. They're laughing at him. Oh my god, this is so good. At this point, you know already that I take a very nihilistic approach to this sort of thing because I don't expect anything good from the media. Obviously, it's been a long time since I've given up on the media being like actually contentious. Oh my god, dude. It's crazy that they also basically like solidified Donald Trump as like the main guy by hosting this.
I mean,
because
he is the main.
Like if CNN is supposed to be the Democratic Party's like media operatives,
I'm telling you, DeSantis.
They
lost.
they should be fucking hammering like some kind of division within the Republican Party's primaries.
DeSantis lost when he went after Disney.
Well, DeSantis lost when he went after Trump.
No, I mean he lost when he went after Disney.
But that too, for sure. No, I think DeSantis. Right? You're right, actually.
His entire base is on scooters right now at Walt Disney World.
Yeah, DeSantis going after Disney was definitely not a smart move. He thought that he could like culture war his way, and he fucked up. You can't culture war that hard. You culture war too hard.
Like that's the most bipartisan place on the planet is Walt Disney World, right? Yeah. Liberals, leftists, actually not leftists. Liberals and Republicans love Walt Disney World.
It's true.
Okay? Leftists don't like anything, all right? But they liberals and Republicans love Walt Disney World, okay? Alike, okay?
Yeah, they're both
leftists don't like Disney World because it's fun and everybody loves it, okay? That's why they don't like Walt Disney World.
It's true. Leftists do hate fun.
But what you just said there, Republican officials debunked those claims about fraudulent ballots. We want to give you a chance tonight.
Who?
Republican officials in Georgia and every single state. There is no your own election officials, Mr. President. So we wanted to give you a chance.
People were afraid to take on the issue, but we have a big problem in this country. We
wanted to give you a chance to acknowledge
we have elections
the results
that were horrible. If you look at what happened in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, if you look at what happened in Detroit, Michigan, if you look at what happened in Atlanta,
I'll be honest,
millions of votes, and all you have to do is...
No, he always is like that.
I know, but his bad posture.
Whenever Trump is under attack or he feels uncomfortable, he always slouches like that.
Yeah,
especially if he's sitting down.
Yeah,
he always does that. He's just like sits like this.
Take a look at government cameras. You'll see them. People going to 28 different voting booths to vote, to put in 7 ballots apiece.
But Mr. President,
I think this doesn't help him in the election.
Because there is no evidence of that. Your own
peddling voter fraud.
Him talking about the election was stolen doesn't help him.
That doesn't help him at all.
It doesn't help him in his rallies. In this regard, though, he is gonna come across as like doing a good job defending himself against the unjustifiable attacks from the lying liberal media.
Yeah, maybe to his base. but to the average person, he
Yeah.
sounds like a fucking lunatic.
Yeah,
And I'm talking the independent
no, you know
American
what it is?
voter. He
It's
sounds
not
like
that
a
he
fucking
sounds like a
lunatic.
lunatic.
Yeah.
He sounds like a loser.
Yeah.
He sounds like a sore loser.
A sore loser.
Everyone recognizes that, like, if you constantly talk about how hard you lost to Joe Biden, you automatically are making yourself look worse for no fucking reason.
We have questions about the claims that you're making tonight from voters on this topic. I want to bring in Scott Dustin from Concord. He works in insurance litigation. He's an undeclared voter. That's what they call independents here in New Hampshire, as you know. He did vote for you in 2020. Scott, what's your...
I'm curious if he's undeclared. Thank you, Mr.
No, they're New Hampshire. That's why. New
yeah.
Hampshire and Iowa are like this. They love behaving like people give a shit about them.
It's like my dad's an independent voter and he's voted Democrat for the last 40 years.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
it's like you. It's like you claiming that you're an independent
I
voter.
re-registered to the Democratic Party.
You're such a pussy. You couldn't even hold out.
No, I couldn't hold out. I switched to the independent party after I lost faith and then I re-registered.
Yeah, New Hampshire is like very libertarian. They want to be like Florida, but they're in the north, so they can't be too Florida. But it's one of those places. New Hampshire is so important. We're the first state to cast our vote, care about us. Yeah, exactly. Straight up. That's the whole point. That's why they don't even call them independent. They call them undeclared. We have a different name for it. Okay, got it, dude. It's fucking Iowa and New Hampshire are like the biggest dickheads. No one cares. Shut the fuck up.
Hi, President Trump. Welcome back to New Hampshire.
Thank you.
Will you suspend polarizing talk of election fraud
No, I think he's-
during your
I
run
think he's a
for
liberal.
president?
Yeah, unless I see election fraud. If I see election fraud, I think I have an obligation to say it. We should have voter ID. We should have one-day elections. We should have paper ballots instead of these mail-in votes. But the answer is yes, and I hope that it's going to be very straight up, because if it's going to be straight up, we're going to win the election.
So you will suspend talk to his question about the 2020 election on the campaign trail?
I guess we're going to just win. We're at a point now. We're getting so close. Let's just win it again and straighten out our country.
One other question on this.
Oh my God.
Look how happy they are, dude.
Oh my God.
Dude, CNN literally was just like, can we just, Mr. Trump, please take your cock out. We will suck it. Take your cock out.
Oh, look at that.
We're gonna fucking double hand it, dude. Oh my Lord, what a fucking, this is incredible. I love being an undecided New Hampshire voter in the room and going, fuck yeah, dude, my president. Yeah. To be fair, if I was in that room, I would react the same.
Oh, I know. You would totally
I would be going crazy. I'm like,
You would have your MAGA hat on.
yeah, I'd have the MAGA hat on. I'd be fucking flipping off who I think is a liberal.
The thing is, if you were at a Trump rally, you would be like excited to meet him and getting a picture with him and shaking his hand and taking a selfie.
Oh, yeah.
You would be so into it.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, yeah.
And you know what? I respect it, because why waste the fucking energy arguing and saying what everybody's always said? It's like obvious.
Well, it's not only that, but
It's
also,
obvious.
what am I supposed to do when CNN's doing this? You know what I mean? Like, oh man, I own the Trump supporters. I, from my Twitch stream, really owned Donald Trump with logic and reasoning.
Yeah.
Like, surely he won't become president when, like, the multi-billion-dollar institution is literally glazing him. Offered him a platform, glazed him up like a fucking Krispy Kreme donut. They're doing the most. Okay? So why not enjoy the ride? You know what I mean? So anyone that goes, oh man, this is really fucked up, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, it's CNN. They did this, and it's not because they're stupid. It's because they want Donald Trump to be the next president. How do your liberal parents look at the situation and not recognize the writing on the wall? That, like, mainstream media wants the ratings.
I guarantee you, if I call my mom, she will say that he got destroyed in this town hall.
No, I think your mom will probably be upset at CNN, too.
No.
I'm pretty sure liberals, like, are
No.
actually universally upset at CNN right now.
My dad, who's an independent voter, was talking to me about how Biden's done a great job.
It don't matter.
He said
This is the first time Donald Trump is back to his 2016 ways, dude. And he's fucking on point. He's on fire. He's in a room full of people that are giving him applause breaks.
My dad's
laughter.
in his late 60s, okay? I mean, give him a break, all right? He's a liberal through and through. And so is my grandfather. My grandfather had a countdown clock till George W. Bush was out of office. We got him for Christmas one year. He used to write he hated Nixon. He used to write letters to Nixon
That's awesome.
because he didn't like the treatment of the Palestinian people. This is like back in the 70s or something. I'm Lebanese. I mean, what you know? I mean,
Stacking crowds with support.
he was Lebanese. He's Lebanese. So.
Look, my mom was mad at 60 Minutes for the MTG thing. She won't like this. Like, liberals were upset at 60 Minutes. Liberals are like picking up copies of manufacturing consent, dude. They're out here. They're fucking mad at libtard media not doing the job that it's supposed to do.
When you've talked about the 2020 election results in the past, you once suggested terminating the Constitution. Do you stand by those comments?
No. You were able to do certain things. I'm not talking about terminating the Constitution. I'm talking about cherishing the Constitution. The Constitution says that we're supposed to have legal and well-maintained and well-looked-at elections, and we didn't have that. I cherish our Constitution, but we have to live up to the Constitution. We weren't living up to the Constitution.
I mean, he's technically not wrong, because our founding fathers did own a lot of slaves, and they kind of didn't want everybody to vote.
That's true. They did.
So technically, he's not wrong. Like, according to their vision of America, like Donald Trump, despite the fact that he's German and therefore swarthy, like his understanding of like what elections should look like, i.e., benefit the side that wants to maintain the racial imbalance that existed even back in those days, is closer to the founding fathers' understanding of how the government should run. Look no further than the Senate to recognize that there is a genuine imbalance built into the entire thing.
Let me tell you about the Constitution.
Tell us about the Constitution. What do you say? It. Say the line. This is an old school Austin trope.
Our founding fathers were ahead of their time, and they created a document that wasn't stuck in that time period.
No, what did you used to say? Did
it
you
was
forget?
living. It's a living, breathing document.
Yes, he said it.
To be interpreted in the context of time.
Oh, he said it. Oh,
it was
God.
ratified.
He's spitting. He's spitting.
In 1787.
He's spitting.
All right. And our forefathers understood that maybe 200 years later, we would have different problems that had to be dealt with differently than things were in 1787.
God, you are such a liberal.
And therefore, we have the ability to amend this Constitution.
Damn, dude. Damn straight.
Similarly, what we've done through time, right?
Hell yeah.
For now, I don't want to really burden anybody with what I'm talking about. Trump's time now.
Do you have any regrets about your actions on January 6th?
Nope.
Well, you know, January 6th was, again, we go back to it, but January 6th had to do with the fact that hundreds of thousands of people, and you don't see the pictures very often. A lot of the people here probably were there.
He can't help himself but be proud of the crowd that was there. How big the crowd was.
January 6th, it was the largest crowd I've ever
He can't help
spoken
it.
to. That was prior to the walk down to
He can't help
the
it. He
Capitol
can't help
building.
himself.
I don't think, and I've spoken to hundreds of thousands of people. I've never spoken to a crowd as large as this.
He can't help
And that
it.
was because they thought the election was rigged. And they were there proud. They were there with love in their heart. That was an unbelievable, and it was a beautiful day.
Oh my
And
God!
what I was asked to do, I wasn't involved in it very
Oh my
much.
God!
I was asked to come in. Would I make a speech? I made a speech. I said, walk peacefully and patriotically, you know, many different things. In fact, I brought a list of things. I don't want to bore the audience, but we can go sentence after sentence
Dude.
after sentence of
Sorry.
I can hear
things
you
I said
fucking
and things I put
yelling
out.
like a hyena, too.
One of the big problems was that Nancy Pelosi, Crazy Nancy as I affectionately call her, Crazy Nancy Pelosi and the mayor of Washington were in charge, as you know, of security. And they
They're
did
not in
not do
charge of
their
the
job.
National Guard. You're in charge of the
They
National
are in
Guard.
Well, I offered them National Guard. I said, we'll give you soldiers, we'll give you National Guard, we'll give you whatever you want.
This is my favorite Trump argument, I think. Or one of my favorite. There's so many good ones. It implies that Nancy Pelosi is responsible for the unrest.
Yeah.
That what also he simultaneously considers to be very peaceful. I don't understand it. Like, on the one hand, you started out by saying it was the largest crowd of peaceful Americans who love the United States of America. And then you immediately switch it around and say, and Nancy Pelosi is responsible for the unrest because she didn't want the National Guard to do what? To stop the unrest? Is that what you're saying?
And also, he was the fucking president of the United States.
Yeah, as someone said, it's like the Schrodinger's riot, where it wasn't a riot, but it was also a riot, but if it was a riot, it was because of Nancy Pelosi. Like, it doesn't make sense. He said Pelosi created a beautiful day. It's a compliment. True. It was a beautiful day, January 6th. Thankfully, Nancy Pelosi didn't want the National Guard there because it was a beautiful day and it was not a riot.
When they went to the Capitol and they were breaking into the Capitol, smashing windows, injuring police officers, why did it take you 3 hours to tell them to go home?
I don't believe it did. Oh, let me pull it out. I have to pull it out. So if you look at
CNN, by the way.
Oh, God.
Dude, I love this, dude. Dude, listen. I don't want to hear from anybody ever again. Anytime anyone comes in here and says, Hasan, like, you're the reason why America is such and such. No, motherfucker. That's CNN, dog. That's their shit,
What if the only reason he agreed to do the town hall is if he could put his supporters in the audience?
I mean, you don't have to do the town hall then. You can just do, nah, we're not going to cover this town hall. We're not going to give you a town hall.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. No, they did it because they're hungry. They're horny for ratings, and they, more importantly than that, want Donald Trump to be president. There's no doubt in my mind. There's zero doubt in my mind that CNN abso-fucking-lutely knows what Donald Trump is, knows what kind of a fucking media demon he is, and they absolutely want Donald Trump to be president.
Dude, I can't believe there's a fucking election next year.
Yeah, I know.
Jesus Christ.
It's starting. The primaries are like upon us. You know what I mean?
Dude, the primaries are upon us. Wow, not only is CNN's ratings about to go through the roof, HasanAbi's ratings are about to go through the ceiling.
Yeah, this is when everyone acts like they give a shit about politics. Well, it's an incumbent, so it's a little different.
I'm ready for the fucking debates. Are you kidding me? Remember? Am I gonna be on your debate covering squad again? Or
No.
have I been eliminated?
Sorry.
Really?
Yeah, I hired a new gay,
Oh, really?
George Santos.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's our new gay instead.
Okay. I see. Whatever.
I like that you're like kind of bitter. Like
Yeah.
it's very clearly a joke, but you still are
I mean, Hasan.
a little upset.
Yeah. Whatever. I'll be fine.
Okay.
on January 5th, the day before, I said, please support our Capitol Police and law enforcement. They are truly on the side of our country. Stay peaceful. Stay peaceful. This was the day before, and this was in the form of Twitter. Now I use Truth Social. I think it's false.
In the form of this was in the form of Twitter.
Okay. I hope everybody's on Truth. If you look, okay. And this was in the form of Twitter. Now I use Truth Social. I think it's far superior. Okay. I hope everybody's on Truth. If you look, January 6th, this is before 2:30. I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. This is right after, as it was happening. But what happened is they took it down. I don't know why. I think they took it down because it was so good. They didn't like it being up there. I am asking, and we didn't know.
He's so good. Oh, he's so good. He's so fucking good. Oh my God. Oh, dude, he's so back. This is Trump at his best. This is peak Trump, okay? Undefeated. It's just like, it doesn't get any better. He's out here. He's fucking quick on his feet. He's making jokes. He's shitting on the libs. He's owning them super hard. You could not have done a better job if you tried. Fox News couldn't prop up Donald Trump this way because Fox News doesn't have liberals, because a principle of being a reactionary is reacting, right? You have to react to progress. Someone who is like supposedly a vector for progressive values. CNN putting up their Tucker Carlson writer, Caitlin Collins, to play that role so perfectly is incredible. Fox News having Donald Trump on to do his tight five, they do it every night. He goes on Sean Hannity sucks him off. He goes on Mark Levin sucks him off. He's getting his dick sucked by Fox News anchors all the time.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's not that good. That doesn't get the job done. What gets the job done is when he's against a libtard that he is owning. This is literally better than what Fox News could ever put together. And CNN is playing the role perfectly.
Your commentary is no different than like a conservative pundit's commentary.
Wait, what do you mean?
I don't know. You just called her a libtard.
I mean, she's a libtard. But she's not. She's not even a libtard. She's like actually a conservative. Yeah. Which, I mean, I didn't even know that she was. I didn't know she wrote for the Daily Caller. Right. Like, that actually shocked me. I did not know that.
Until I got it back, because now I have 90 million people waiting for me to go back, but I'm on Truth, and I'm staying on Truth. Listen, I am asking for everyone at the U.S. Capitol to remain peaceful. No violation We want no violation. We want no violence.
To be fair, everyone's a
Remember,
libtard.
we are the party of law and order. Respect the law and our great men and women in blue. Thank you. That was at 2:30. That was very early.
Mr. President, I looked at the same timeline that you did.
No,
Once
I know,
it was
but you
clear,
didn't report that. You know why? Because it was
we
taken
did report
down.
it. I was reporting that
It was
day.
taken down and it wasn't
But
put
when it
back
was
up.
clear to you that they were not being peaceful, you saw them rushing the Capitol, breaking windows. They were hitting officers with flagpoles, tasing them, beating them up. When it was clear they weren't being peaceful, why did you wait 3 hours to tell them to leave the Capitol? They listen to you like no one else. You know that.
They do. I agree with that. But
So why
Nancy
didn't you tell them to go
Pelosi,
sooner?
Nancy Pelosi and the mayor are in charge. I assume they were able to do their job. They weren't.
But
And it
Pelosi's
kicked
not in
in.
charge of
And
Capitol
if you remember,
security.
I made a video right outside the Oval Office in the Rose Garden. And I'm very proud of that video. I didn't have a script. I don't need scripts like a certain person that's in
But
there
what
right
time,
now.
the video, it came out much later after they had already attacked the Capitol.
It was a great video. And it was a beautiful video. And it said, I mean, I don't want to read it all, but you have to go home now. We have to have peace. We have to have law and order.
No, I'm very
We have to respect our great people of law and order. We love the people of law and order. We can't play into the hands of these other people. We have to have peace. Please go home. I
Well,
said that.
referring
You know
to
what
the
they
law and
did?
order there,
They took
Mr.
that
President.
down. And you know, to this day, it hasn't been put up. And the reason is it's so good and so conclusive that all of this nonsense and all of the tens of millions of dollars that have been spent are just wiped away with this one. And they've never put it back up. They had another one that they did the same
But that
thing.
video that you referenced there, it wasn't posted until 4:17.
Excuse me.
Because in that 3 hours, over 140
Excuse me, it was
officers
posted
were
after the
injured.
first one I just read, though, and that was at 2 o'clock.
In
Here's
that
another
3
one I
hours,
posted.
over 140 officers were injured that day.
And a person named Ashley Babbitt was killed.
Yes.
You know what? She was killed, and she shouldn't have been killed. And that thug that killed her, there was no reason to shoot her, and she was a good person. She was a patriot.
One
There was
person
no
who was
reason
there-
there was no reason.
patriot?
And
Yeah, she's a QAnon.
he went on television to brag about the fact that he killed her.
The officer was not bragging about the fact that he
Oh,
killed
he
her.
was
But one
bragging.
person who was at the
He was
Capitol
bragging.
that day, as you know, was your vice president, Mike Pence, who says that you endangered his life on that day.
I don't
Do
think
you
he was in
feel-
any danger.
Mr. President, do you feel that you owe
Call
him
him
an
a pussy.
apology?
No, because he did something wrong. He should have put the votes back to the state legislatures, and I think we would have had to
He's
do.
so,
he's
dude, that's so
mask
good.
off.
That's so good. He's like, no, he deserves it. He deserves the death threats. He should have done it. He should have stopped the process. He should have stopped the steal.
This is signature Trump in great content, but I also don't think it bodes well for him.
No,
I don't think this is good for him. No,
dude,
I don't think
dude,
so.
he's
It's
owning-
good for his base.
I know, but
It's
he's
good for his
he's
base,
owning a
and that's it.
libtard. He's owning a libtard. That's all
I
that
don't think,
matters.
I don't think this is good for him. I really don't.
It doesn't matter. He's not looking. He's not looking pathetic.
He looks.
He's looking strong. If anything, people are just probably gonna be like, yeah, whatever. He just like he's petty, but he's just like pushing the same shit over and over again. But
See, I have some people agreeing with me in the chat.
okay, well, I guess I'm wrong then.
Yeah, you're absolutely wrong.
I've never disagreed.
This is
with
not. Look again to the and look. I called the last election. I'm going to call it again. This is appealing to maybe 35% of the country.
Yeah, it's a good base to have. Look, I'm not saying Donald Trump's going to beat Joe Biden. Okay, Donald Trump lost to Joe Biden already, but that was also right at the heels of COVID, and not at the heels of like sky high inflation with like real wage depression.
That's the economy is a big issue for Biden.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of factors that are hurting Joseph Robinette Biden right now.
But also, one thing I will say is by all metrics, the Democrats should have been absolutely slaughtered in the midterm elections.
It's true.
But for some reason, an act of God, all the preconceived notions of what should happen based on statistics and what we understand should happen based on what's happening with the economy things seem to be different now.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it was an act of God.
What do you think it was?
Brother, I think it was
a rejection of MAGA Republicans.
It was them constantly talking about, like, one, the election being stolen, and going crazy mode over it, and two, like they're like satanic, pedophile hunters who are constantly talking about children's genitals, and Roe v. Wade being the biggest one, of course.
Yep.
Ironic, because Donald Trump, if it was up to him, he would have tried to stop Roe v. Wade from getting investigated. eviscerating the Supreme Court. Like, he's fine putting the Supreme Court justices in that position. But if you were to ask him, Donald Trump, dead ass, straight up, do you think the Supreme Court justices should, like, destroy Roe v. Wade? Like, in a private setting, obviously not in public. He would probably be like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Of course not. Because it's always way better to dangle it in front of the evangelical base as a carrot, not to actually give them that. Because he knows how to read the room. So, you know, the Republicans kind of fucked him up a little bit on that front. Or themselves, really. They're a victim of their own success.
Different outcome. I really do.
But he doesn't have the authority to do that, as you know.
What?
The vice president does not have the authority to reject those,
are you ready? Let's have this
elections.
one just now, because it's interesting. Let's keep it interesting, right? I like Mike Pence very much. He's a very fine man. He's a very nice man. He made a mistake. His lawyer said, you cannot move. I called him the human conveyor belt. I said, even if the votes, I talked to his lawyer, even if the votes are absolutely fraudulent, he can't say, yes, sir, he can't send back. And the Democrats played it, and the rhinos played it. And then the election was over. They told him he couldn't do it. And Mike said to me, I can't do it. The lawyers told me he can't do it. They can't do it. But the lawyers were wrong, because right after the election, they all met, the rhinos and the Democrats, and they worked out a plan to make sure that future vice presidents don't do what I said you could do.
That's not what happened. You're referring to the Electoral Count Act. I've read that. There is no authority.
No,
legal experts, including Republican legal experts, say that he does not have that authority, Mr. President. But I want to
why did they change the law then, saying that you can't do it?
They didn't change the law. They strengthened the law because they were worried about presidents
they strengthened
exploding.
it, meaning you could do it.
That's not what it means.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, you think that doesn't look strong?
Well, I'm a liberal, so...
You think that doesn't look strong to independents?
No, because it's batshit crazy to think that the election was stolen. And
It
I think
is.
the average person.
It is, but they're not even talking about that at that point. Now they're talking about something entirely unrelated, even though it's totally related. They're talking about, like, minutia. When you get lost in the fucking minutia,
But
when you get lost in the sauce...
It's batshit crazy to think that Mike Pence could have saved.
No, I agree with you.
But that's
I
what I'm
agree
saying.
with
That's
you.
why I don't think
But now
this is
he's
appealing.
winning on points. Like, he's winning.
I will be
he's
charitable.
winning-
I will tell you when I think he's winning on something.
He's winning talking points for no fucking reason. What you're supposed to do is lock him in to the main point of contention, which is, like, you sound like a sore loser. Make him sound like a sore loser. Now, he is unnecessarily winning talking points against his interlocutor, who is a well-spoken and at least, like, kind of liberal presenting presenter. You know what I mean?
Mr. President, one of the people who was convicted was a former policeman, but he was convicted of attacking a police officer, I should know. But when you said you are considering pardoning a large portion of those charged with crimes on January 6th, does that include the 4 Proud Boys members who were charged and convicted of seditious conspiracy?
I don't know. I'd have to look at their case, but I will say in Washington, D.C., you cannot get a fair trial. You cannot. Just like in New York City, you can't get a fair trial either.
Dude, he's talking about the January 6th rioters that he's going to pardon. You only have this feeling because you have a preconceived notion, which is understandable. I do too. He's like, oh yeah, I'm going to pardon them. They are unjustifiably in jail. But even to an independent, if they look at, like, the BLM riots, which, the media definitely fucking hammered on a similar narrative to Donald Trump, making it seem like, especially local media, made it seem like riots were out of control. They were everywhere. They were left. They were right. And, local business owners were getting murdered by these scary black people, right? He's saying, without actually saying, January 6th, they did something right, they should not deserve prison sentences. He's basically just saying, he's doing whataboutism. He's basically saying, like, well, the BLM Antifa thugs never got anything. Which is not even true, by the way. There were plenty of people that went to jail and took lengthy prison sentences during the Black Lives Matter protests, for the record. So it's not even true, but the media perception and the perception of the people due to the media coverage of the matter is that these people did not get any kind of harm whatsoever. He's just hyper-focusing on the double standard. People love perceived hypocrisy. Oh my God, they love hypocrisy hunting. Like, he's doing a very good job of deflecting away from the main points of contention and conducting himself in a way that he did exactly like he did in 2016. In 2016, you probably watched Donald Trump and you were like, this guy's a goof. He's goofball. He's crazy. He's out of his mind. Now, he's doing the exact same shit he did in 2016. Now, of course, there are major disadvantages that Donald Trump has right now. Are you falling asleep?
No.
I just saw your eyes close.
I was blinking for a prolonged period of time.
Okay.
It's what I do when I think.
Okay, well, one major problem is that Donald Trump has been president.
Right.
So we know what that looked like. And, you know, it wasn't great for so much so that, like, people literally didn't vote for him. They voted, they either stayed home or they voted for Joe Biden. A lot of people voted for Trump, but a lot more people voted for Joe Brandon. So he lost already. So we know what this matchup looks like. So that's a huge hurdle that needs to clear. And unless he, like, shakes it up and, like, finds something new, you know, rehashing these old conversations and ultimately owning libtards in the marketplace of ideas might not actually take him over the finish line. So there is a light at the end of the tunnel there. So fear not. However, having said that, this certainly is improving his chances.
If anything,
for no reason.
As a voter, as an independent voter, I look at this and I say, you know, before he talked, you know, maybe I could see, oh, maybe Trump wasn't so bad. He's now reminding me of all the reasons why he's fucking crazy.
Yeah, but you're a Democrat. You're a lifelong
No, I'm an independent voter.
No, you're not. You're a lifelong Democrat.
I'm an independent
Yeah,
voter.
you're an independent like those guys are independents.
Well,
yeah, you guys are both independents.
I'm an independent American voter, and I'm saying no, but even as a liberal, even as a Democrat, lifelong Democrat, over the time that's gone on, I more have seen Trump as like, oh, he's a jokester. You know what I mean? Like as time has progressed, now I'm all reminded of all the fucking batshit crazy this motherfucker is.
Good.
Right?
You're a libtard. So
Well,
you're
look,
gonna,
but I think that will stand true with the American people.
the real point here is, will it actually move the needle for him in a significant way with independent voters, which tended to favor the Democratic Party in the midterm elections? At a time when the economy was worse than it is now, because inflation has cooled down a little bit, will we have that soft landing? It may be. You know what I mean? It's just entirely dependent on what happens to the economy in the upcoming year and a half. But having said that, Donald Trump has a lot of negatives now working against him. He is very much a part of the system. So it's a little bit harder for him to, as a former president, make himself seem like the independent candidate that came out of nowhere. That you should, you know...
fighting against the establishment.
Fighting against the establishment. That you
draining
should...
the swamp. He became the swamp. He became what he was fighting against, and he is the establishment.
Yeah.
And he was like the underdog, the outsider. He's no longer the outsider anymore, which is what he struggled with in 2020.
Yeah. People were willing to you know, bet on him, especially against Hillary Clinton, who is the face of this rigid establishment.
I
right?
actually think Hillary Clinton would have a better shot the second time.
Oh my God, don't put that out. Don't put that out there. Do not put that out there. Austin, she will hear this and she will run.
All I'm saying is...
Oh my God. Oh no. We're so fucking cooked.
No,
We're done.
all I'm saying is...
We're done, boys. It's over. It's over.
Look, all I'm saying
Trump is the next president.
No.
Hillary Clinton runs. Right now, Trump is the next president. I 100%
Joe
guarantee.
Biden is a carcass.
Joe Biden is still, as a carcass, better than Hillary Clinton. Joe Biden was a carcass last time he ran, and he beat Donald Trump.
I know, but
who didn't beat Donald Trump? You know who didn't beat Donald Trump? Hillary Rodham Clinton.
I don't know how to say this, but he's somehow less lifeless than he was a few years ago. And I didn't know how that was possible.
That's not even true. He was way worse on the campaign.
They're going to have to give him cocaine before the debates.
Dude, no shot.
They're going to have to pump him. They're going to have to concoct something that will keep his, like, I don't know what's going to happen, man. I don't know. I don't know. He just needs to not campaign.
Bro, Biden is the incumbent. Like, the incumbent advantage is gigantic.
Speaking of New York, I want to ask you about a significant verdict that was reached yesterday. I know this is something you want to weigh in on as well. Manhattan jury found that you sexually abused the writer E. Jean Carroll and defamed her. You've denied.
Oh, this is the best part that's incoming right now.
I've seen it.
He goes off for like 2.5 minutes here, and it's just fucking insane.
But what do you say to voters who say it disqualifies you from being president?
Well, there aren't too many of them because my poll numbers just came out. They went up. Okay.
Ooh, that's a great response.
God,
he's such a piece of shit.
I'm the only person in history who had a charge like that. And usually you leave office, you say, I'm sorry, but I'm going back home. I'm back home to my family and everything. I'm going to be resigned. My poll numbers went up, and they went up with the other fake charge, too. Because what's happening is they're doing this for election interference. This woman, I don't know her. I never met her. I have no idea who she is. I had a picture taken years ago with her and her husband, nice guy, John Johnson. He was a newscaster, very nice man. She called him an ape. Happens to be African American. Called him an ape. The judge wouldn't allow us to put that in. Her dog or her cat was named Vagina. The judge wouldn't allow to put that in. All of these things. But with her, they could put in anything. Access,
this
Hollywood.
This was a jury of
anything.
9 people who found you liable of sexual abuse. Do you think that will deter women from voting for you?
No, I don't think so, because I think
Her cat Her cat's name is Vagina. Why? Why did you... What does that have to do with the case? Like, he's trying to say the judge wasn't impartial. How does that prove that the judge was impartial? I mean, the judge was partial, sorry. Vagina. Why is that relevant to the court case at all? I gotta run it back. The way he said that is so funny.
Her cat was named Vagina.
Her cat was named Vagina. Why is that a part of the... Why? Why did you bring that up? Why is that even in any way, shape, or form relevant to this conversation? Or why is that in any shape or form relevant to the court case? Of course they didn't let you fucking put that in. Because it's so irrelevant. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
Just so you understand. Ready? I never met this woman. I never saw this woman. I met her in the front door of Bergdorf Goodman. I was immediately attracted to her, and she was immediately attracted to me. And we had this great chemistry. We're walking into a crowded department store. We had this great chemistry, and a few minutes later, we end up in a room, a dressing room of Bergdorf Goodman, right near the cash register. And then she found out there were locks on the door, so she said, I found one that was open. She found one. She learned this at trial. She found one that was open. What kind of a woman meets somebody and brings them up, and within minutes, you're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, okay? I don't know if she was married then or not. John Johnson, I feel sorry for you, John Johnson.
Mr. President, can I
think of it.
I know you're recounting what she said, but Mr. President...
I wish Austin was here for this. Austin! Yeah. What the fuck? Are you okay? Okay, well, you're missing really good parts right now. He's cooking, dude. This is a man who is liable to pay $5 million in a defamation suit that found him liable of sexual abuse. And he's over here completely reframing the narrative in an albeit humorous way. Is he defaming her right now? Yeah. While also doing the thing that he just lost the court case over. It's crazy. You cannot sit here and tell me that he's not doing a good job on this.
And I didn't do anything else either. You know what? Because I have no idea who the hell she is.
But Mr. President,
I don't know who this woman
can I ask you, given your recounting your version...
I don't know who, and I tell you this.
But Mr. President,
are you ready?
can I
swear
ask
on
you
my children, which I'd never do. I have no idea who this woman... This is a fake story.
Okay, he's swearing on Tiffany. You know, in his mind, he's like, I swear on my children, only Tiffany, not Ivanka. Tiffany can go.
Made up story. We had a horrible Clinton-appointed judge. He was horrible. He allowed her to put everything in. He allowed us to put nothing in.
Mr. President,
this is a
you're
fake
recounting your version
story.
of events here right now to the audience. You referenced the trial. You did not go to the trial and actually testify. Do you wish that you had testified?
No, it wouldn't have made a difference. This is a rigged...
Sorry, Hasan, you love Trump, but normal people gonna find him disgusting talking like that? Oh yeah, totally. Remember when normal people found him disgusting because he said when you're famous, you can just, they'll let you do it. You can grab him by the pussy. Remember that? Or when he said, like, Mexicans are rapists, normal people would find him disgusting. And then, of course, he lost to Hillary Clinton because normal people found him disgusting and they thought Hillary Clinton will win, surely. And then she won. And then she was the first female president of the United States of America. And the glass ceiling was broken. Oh, yeah, that didn't happen because normal people don't give a fuck.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, but
which
like,
is why I think we should run her again.
Oh my God! Like, but why should normal people give a fuck?
I think we should run Michelle Obama. That's my professional.
God! Oh my Lord!
I think she'd win. Don't admit she'd win.
I think Michelle Obama would stand a decent chance, but the problem is...
I'm being honest. Guys, you guys hate it now.
Because Trump is not strong. The problem is Michelle Obama is still a relatively known entity, and you think that she would galvanize the liberal base, which is true, she would. But independents that voted for Donald Trump hated Barack Obama and went and voted for Donald Trump. And Michelle Obama is only a continuation of Barack Obama. So you're rehashing the same dynamics.
Yes. The Obama... Okay, now let me tell you. I'm going to give you two people.
In the United States of America, you cannot win a larger voter base with positive campaigning. You have to just make sure your opposition puts forward a shittier candidate and you depress voters.
Two people that would beat the doors off of Trump, okay? Michelle Obama and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Okay, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson clears, yes.
Would beat the doors off.
I mean,
of
that's not
Donald
even a question. You can't even put Michelle Obama and Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the same sentence.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson would destroy
100%.
Donald Trump.
1,000%. 1,000,000%. Yes. I agree.
He would destroy the Rock as president of the United States.
Yes. The Rock would absolutely clear Trump, Joe Biden, most presidents.
And a third one I'm going to throw into the ring. Last one.
All right, let's hear it.
Terry Crews.
Okay, now you're just doing idiocracy. You're just okay, dude. I mean, come on, dude. That's that's ridiculous. I can't believe you just said that. Yeah, he runs as Camacho. That's his name. President Camacho.
My lawyer said, sir, you don't have to do it. I actually said, I think I should. It would be respectful. They said, sir, don't do it. This is a fake story, and you don't want to give it credibility. That's why I didn't go.
One thing you did do in this.
And I swear, and I've never done that, and I swear to, I have no idea who the hell, she's a whack job.
Guys, Arnold Schwarzenegger wasn't born here. Like, he can run for governor and win, but he can't be the president. He's Austrian.
You did not testify in person in this trial. There was a tape deposition of you from October in it. You defended the comments that you made on that Access Hollywood tape about being able to grab women how you want.
See,
do you stand by those comments?
The audience is already going, oh. You want to know why?
Because they're all his voters.
Yeah, well, that is true. But also, they're going, oh, because this is double jeopardy at this point. He has been found not guilty in the eyes of the American public for saying what he said about women, like letting themselves letting Trump grab them by the pussy. Because he became president after that. So, like, rehashing that over and over again is so fucking stupid. It's fine. I get why you'd be upset about that. I totally do. But, like, you're not making a good point at that point. Like, if your job is to, like, belittle him, humiliate him, call him into account, then do a better job, because no one gives a shit about that. They voted for him. They voted for him after the fact. It's been years and years. How is it any different than Trump constantly crying about Hillary Clinton, which he stopped doing, by the way? He doesn't do that anymore, if you noticed.
Well, yeah. Crooked Hillary. They try to apply the same things that the attacks on Hillary that they do on Biden.
Okay, I gotta add 2 points here. One, I don't think Donald Trump is gonna win unless CNN keeps doing this shit. Because, oh my lord, I think Donald Trump has a shot at victory if CNN and mainstream media keep covering him this way. It's like CNN recognized that Trump's chances are shitty, and they were like, oh, we gotta fucking help him out. It's crazy.
This is what I think Trump's gonna do in the Republican primary. Well, he's just going to clear. It doesn't even matter. But I think he's going to...
Well, you don't think the Indian dude is going to win with 1%?
Or DeSantis?
Well, DeSantis is not even... Yeah, he's not even running, so...
Wait, he's not?
Well, he hasn't announced it, and I don't think he will.
He'd be stupid. It's political suicide, right? Because then he gets dragged through a primary, becomes less likable, and then loses.
Yeah, I mean, Trump will destroy him. He's such a pussy to Trump anyway.
Will Trump even show up to the debates? He can't help himself.
No, I mean, it depends. It depends on who his detractors are. Like, if they get enough clout and enough momentum behind them, and they force Donald Trump into debates, and Fox News, I think, will side with whoever the fuck is going to go up against Donald Trump, because, like, at least for the primaries, they would want that to happen, because they don't want Donald Trump to be president. That much is clear. Because Donald Trump is a liability to the party. So, I don't know.
I want you to meet Julie Miles, a registered nurse from Merrimack. She's a Republican who voted for you in 2020. Julie, what's your question for the president?
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
I appreciate you answering this question this evening. How do you plan to appeal to women voters in New Hampshire who are concerned about the Dobbs decision and how states may change their laws?
It's such a great question, and it was such a great victory, and people are starting to understand it now. You know that they wanted to bring it back to the states, but that was probably the least important part of that victory. Getting rid of Roe v. Wade was an incredible thing for pro-life because it gave pro-life something to negotiate with. Pro-life had absolutely nothing being stuck in Roe v. Wade to negotiate with. And now what's happening, and I see it all over, deals are being made, deals are going to be made, and look, everybody that was president wanted to get rid and tried to get rid of Roe v. Wade.
You mean
for 50 years, Republicans.
I agree.
Bad question. It
is a bad answer.
Abortions are at an all-time high in popularity. They're the women's bodily autonomy.
This is perhaps the most important question of the town hall, and he's currently flubbing it.
Terrible
Because
answer.
normally he avoids this.
Women's bodily autonomy is incredibly popular.
Normally he fucking...
Even in states like Kentucky, right? Kentucky, they voted to
They
uphold
did.
the right.
They did.
To women's body.
Yes.
Body autonomy. It's not popular anymore.
It's never been popular, but it was always a great motivator for the evangelicals.
Right. And now they've gotten
It became a liability once they actually acted on it.
Yeah.
That is literally the reason why I was like, there's no way they'll actually repeal Roe v. Wade. That's crazy. Like, there's no fucking way. The reason why I always said that was because, like, it is so stupid. It is such a major misstep. Like, it blows my fucking mind.
But then here he is doubling down. It's a bad answer.
Which is why I'm shocked. Because Donald Trump usually is not this, like, open and shut, not this cut and dry. He's way more shifty and he's way more dodgy. He still tried to dodge it, if you notice. He's like, well, you know, it's good because now we can negotiate. Now we can negotiate. That's a pussy-ass answer.
He also said, the woman, the lady that asked the question, kind of set him up to sort of give a soft answer too.
Yeah, and he said, "Oh yeah, no, it's good that we."
How do you address? He's supposed to address the concerned voter, aka the ones that did not support the Roe v. Wade decision, but instead he said it's a great victory. He doubled down on it, said it was wonderful, and it's a great victory for pro-life.
Look, this is the truth. Donald Trump knows this.
Yeah, that's why I'm so confused.
Yeah, that's why it was shocking that he fucking answered it that way. I'm shocked because that's such a bad answer. Trump knows how to read the room, man. He knew that, like, abortion is a good motivator for evangelicals, but never when you don't let the dog finally catch up to the car, because the dog doesn't know what to do when he's chasing the car, everything's fine. But when you finally catch up to the car, all of a sudden you have no fucking clue what's going on.
50 years. This has been going on, actually a couple of Democrats too, but for 50 years this has been going on. I was able to do it, and I was very honored to do it. But by doing it, things are happening that are very, very positive. And I happen to believe in the exceptions, the life of the mother, rape, incest, like Ronald Reagan believed in the exceptions. But I happen to believe that. I think it's frankly important to do that, but a lot of people are against that. A relatively small number. But the way I look, I think it's very important.
Look at him, dude. He's flubbing it. Are you seeing this?
Yes, it's a bad answer. It's a bad answer.
He's behaving like a Democrat right now. He's trying to reposition his stance. Abortion is murder. Now it's like, well, with some exceptions. And some people are against it. I don't know. It's a small group of people that are against the exception.
Remember the debate with Hillary Clinton? I said, rip the baby out of the womb at the end of the 9th month. They will kill the baby in the 9th month.
They're going to shoot the baby.
If you look at that crazy governor of
folks,
Virginia, the former governor, he said, no, the baby will be born, and then we'll decide essentially whether or not to execute the baby.
Mr. President, can we talk about what you would do if you are...
That's the only good law, folks. I'm going to put in. We can't shoot
But
the
if
baby.
you are reelected and you're back in the Oval Office and you get legislation to your
No
desk,
guns
would
in the
you sign
delivery
a
room,
federal
folks.
abortion ban into law?
What I'll do is negotiate so that people are happy.
Just to be clear, Mr. President, you would sign a federal abortion ban into law.
I said this. I want to do what's right. And we want to do what's right for everybody.
But what's right?
But now, for the first time,
What's
the
right?
people that are pro-life have negotiating capability, because you didn't have it before. They could kill the baby in the 9th month or after the baby was born. Now they won't be able to do that.
He is trying to re-triangulate the abortion conversation and failing. This is huge because this is the most important issue of the upcoming election, of any election, until people basically normalize that kind of like violence against women. And it's still, it's still a matter up for debate, right? You know what I mean? Whether this is appropriate or not. We're not at the position where it's like Handmaid's Tale yet. We are bouldering towards that reality, but we're not there yet. Deeply unpopular for the Republican Party, which is why they are forced to triangulate again and figure out exactly how to message on this. So Trump's shitty ass fucking solution to that problem was to say, oh, I eviscerated abortion protections in this country so that the evangelicals could have a say in the process.
Well, and then he's also saying...
That's a horrible...
She's asking him a direct question if he's going to codify it into law. And he just got done saying it's a great victory for pro-life, yada, yada, yada. I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see what happens. We'll have you know what I mean? It's just...
You don't know if he's failing. This may be a way for him to downplay it. Yeah, no, I don't think it's successful messaging. Trump is simple. He's a simple man. He knows his audience are a bunch of fucking baboons, okay? They're a bunch of cackling hyenas. He just gives them meat, okay? He says yes, no, wrong,
Sad.
lock her up, build the wall. Trump doesn't say, well, you know, there's exceptions to the pregnancy of the mother and the viability of the womb and the 8 months and the 9 months. And this is a really good negotiation tactic now before the pro-life movement. Like, no, he doesn't do that shit. He's doing it now because he's forced to. That is incredibly weak for perhaps one of the most important issues of this election cycle. That's unacceptable. He can have like all the E.G. and Carroll, like, oh, she called her cat a vagina, all that stuff, all day, every day. But ultimately, elections are for adults. Elections are for suburban, upper middle class, white moms and dads. Okay, those are the guys who vote. And those guys are very pissed off that the sweatiest, most psychotic losers in the Republican Party have been able to get this massive electoral victory without an election, okay, by way of the Supreme Court, by weaponizing these like elected people that they are not elected, sorry, appointed people. They're pissed off because it harms them. It harms their daughters. It harms their sons who might accidentally knock someone up. Americans get abortions. Republicans get abortions. The fact that you would criminalize this process and continue pushing to criminalize it and to codify that criminalization is a really fucking bad idea, which is why I thought Trump would move away from that immediately. And here he is trying to basically say, oh, no, this is for normalcy. This is for reason, so that we can actually find a reasonable middle ground for abortion. Nobody wants that shit, dog. No fucking way. You're not Hillary Clinton, okay? No one in your party is voting for you because you are going to be the moderation guy. You're going to be the triangulation guy. You're going to be the guy who like is, focus grouping every kind of, sentiment, every kind of legislative agenda point that he has. You're the guy who reads the room and reads the room very well. All of this spells trouble for Donald Trump. I'll tell you that much. Sorry for, just ranting. Do you understand what I'm trying to say here?
I get it 100%.
President Trump is going to make a determination what he thinks is great for the country and what's fair for the country. But the fact that I was able to terminate Roe v. Wade after 50 years of trying, they worked for 50 years. I've never seen anything like it. They worked, and I was so honored to have done it. We are in a very good negotiating position right now, only because of what I was.
If it's a good thing, why are you talking about the triangulation? If it's a good thing, why are you talking about 3 months, 6 months, 4 months, 8 months? If it's a good thing, why are you owning it? You're owning it on the one side of your mouth, and then you're disowning it on the other side of your mouth by moving the goalposts away, shifting everyone's attention away from basically owning it. If it's that fucking good, why do you keep saying, well, it's great for negotiations? Motherfucker, what negotiations? You won. You took the dub. In this situation, if you truly were on board with the actions, you would say, we took the dub. We saved lives.
President Trump, I'd like you to meet Jennifer Simmons. She is a stay-at-home mom and former town selectman from Wyndham.
And
she's a Republican, and she voted for you in 2020. Jennifer, what's your question tonight?
Good evening, Mr. President. Title 42 is expected to expire tomorrow. Our southern border and now our northern border are experiencing record migration.
She lives in New Hampshire.
You don't understand.
She lives in New Hampshire.
No, you don't understand. They're under attack, dude.
She lives in New Hampshire.
MS-13 is so active in New Hampshire.
We learned on May 2nd that the Biden administration plans on deploying 1,500 troops to the southern border. Do you agree?
Did she say our northern border is under attack?
Wait, no, hold on.
No, I'm not even. I think.
And now our northern border are experiencing record migration.
Hold on, wait.
Tomorrow.
What's your question tonight?
Good evening, Mr. President. Title 42 is expected to expire tomorrow. Our southern border and now our northern border are experiencing record migration.
Northern border, yeah.
We learned
It's
on May
happening.
2nd
Snow
that-
Mexico is in effect. Patriots are rising up. Republicans are finally coming on board with the HasanAbi mindset.
Bro.
Oh my God. I have been waiting for this
The
moment.
journey to Canada is insane. Like, what?
Dude, I've been waiting for this moment, dude.
People
I've
are
been
sneaking into Canada, then sneaking into the United States?
I've been joking about how we need to shut off our border to Snow Mexico for the longest time, and now Republicans are finally advocating for it.
If people are sick and have infectious diseases and lots of other problems, we don't want them being into our country. We have enough problems right now. We have problems like we've never had in the history of our country.
But Mr. President,
our country
the
is
reason
being
it's ending,
destroyed.
The reason it's ending is because the health policy, the COVID era pandemic emergency is coming to an end. That's what Title 42 was. You put it in place because
That's
of COVID.
true, but you
when
have-
it comes to big questions about what your immigration
I love that, like, that was even ever a point of contention. Like, this was a serious health policy from the guy who just said COVID is fake over and over again. I mean, I guess everyone already kind of knew, so it doesn't really matter, but it does feel kind of interesting to watch Donald Trump and even the Brandon administration like openly fucking uphold Title 42 as a mechanism of like immigration control to stop people who have both the legal and moral right to seek asylum in this country. These are asylum seekers that are not allowed inside of U.S. borders, specifically because of some bullshit fucking CDC rule.
Some of your
overruled by the
Republican
Supreme
rivals have
Court.
criticized you for not fulfilling the promises that you made on the campaign trail, like finishing the border wall. So how do voters know that you...
CNN is insane, bro. She just said you lied and didn't finish the border wall. When will we get a bigger border wall? That's an insane thing to hear from CNN.
Well, I'm curious what he says.
would get those done if you're reelected?
I did finish the wall. I built a wall. I
And
built
now we're gonna
hundreds of
build a
miles
bigger
of wall,
one, folks.
and I finished it. And then I said, we have to build some more because there are areas like water going through a dam. There are some areas where a lot of people are coming. You close up one and they come into another. And we started another 100 miles of wall. In fact, I said to my people, if we start this and don't finish it, and then we had a rigged election, I'm sorry to say it.
The election was not rigged, Mr.
good, I
President.
know.
You can't
I'm
keep
glad
saying
you
that
said
all night long.
And so
You cannot
then
keep saying
they
that the
took
election
over
was
and they
rigged.
decided not to finish it. It would have taken them 3
Like, she's upset that what? Trump didn't build a bigger wall like he promised. She's upset about the election. She's upset about abortion a little bit. Like, God, she's such a classic fucking American neoliberal who is, of course, on the conservative side on almost all the issues. She's like, Mr. President, why didn't you kill more Muslims during your presidency? You promised, and you did not fulfill that obligation. Why not? How can your voters believe you on this issue?
If a family hears that they're going to be separated, they love their family. They don't come. So I know it sounds harsh, but if you remember they said I was building prisons for children. It turned out that it was Obama that was building
But
the
would
prisons
you
for the
re-implement
children.
that if you're reelected? Is that what you're saying?
We have to save our country, all right? We
So it
can't
sounds like
afford,
that's a yes.
No.
So Obama did a good thing? Like, what? This is what... Americans are very stupid, but, like, definitely under the Trump administration, we reached, like, a new level. Like, we definitely leveled up in stupidity. Where Donald Trump routinely will contradict himself, and it doesn't even fucking matter. And it makes me so mad. Like, it frustrates me to no fucking end. Haha, owned, get wrecked, liberal. You're mad, so now you lost. But it just frustrates me so much when Donald Trump will say, oh, you want me to not, separate the babies and the mothers. Okay, very bad policy. But they said I built the prisons, but actually Obama built the prisons. It's like, okay, so did Obama do the good policy then? Like, what are you saying?
Yeah, it's happening constantly.
There's no fucking thread to follow, and these donkeys don't even give a shit. Which brings me back to the original point about the wall. Because the donkeys don't give a shit, and they're just like responding to shapes, colors, and lights that they see on television. When you try to get a gotcha on Donald Trump by being like, he didn't build a wall, what's up with that? That's never going to work on anyone. No independent voter is going to be like, oh yeah, that's right, he didn't build the wall, so I guess maybe I don't want to vote for him this time. And no fucking Republican gives a shit about that anyway, because they don't think Donald Trump could ever do wrong. So who are you trying to win in that regard? You know what I mean? There's no reason to bring stuff like that up. Like, oh, Mr. President, you just got fact-checked. All you're doing is like, you look like a nerd. And in this regard, you kind of look like a nerd who really wanted the wall to be built and was disappointed that it didn't, that it didn't get built.
Look at New York City. Look what's happening. They're living in Central Park in New York City. The city is being swamped. Los Angeles is being swamped. Iowa is being swamped. Our whole country is being destroyed.
Iowa?
Millions of people are coming into our country.
Iowa?
Yeah, nobody lives there, so who cares? You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, who's gonna fact check them? You know what I mean?
Nobody, yeah.
Iowans,
The people in
they
Iowa
they don't even have internet.
The people in Iowa would agree anyway. They look out their windows of. They don't even.
Yeah, it's just corn, and then they're
corn,
like,
yeah,
that Mexican corn,
that's
brother.
right, illegal Mexican corn.
Country. And you know what the number is going to be, in my opinion, by the end of the year? Not the 4 million that you hear and the 3 million. I think it's going to be 15 million people. And in these people, they have no idea where they come from. They come from 129 different countries so far.
I want to get to another voter. Caitlin Boissonneau is a student here at St. Anselm College. She's a Republican. This will be the first election that she has voted in. What's your question for the president, Caitlin?
Hello, President Trump. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
The current administration has made it clear that we should continue to provide military equipment to Ukraine so that they can defend themselves. Do you support this decision, and how would you deal with the increasing threat posed by Vladimir?
This is a good question.
I'm curious because he may actually.
Because he's gonna get his fun. This is gonna be a fun one.
Yeah,
because like again, he needs the he will say like, you know, we're giving too much money to Ukraine, right? Putin's a very bad guy, but we're giving too much money to Ukraine. Under me, there would have been no war. Putin, he respected me. He was afraid of me. He respected me. Didn't need to give Ukraine guns.
Putin.
First of all, thank you very much. It's really nice. And it's an important question, so important, because we're giving away so much equipment. We don't have ammunition for ourselves right now. We don't have ammunition for ourselves. We're giving away so much. But here's the thing. I have to say it to start off. No longer matters. If I were president, this would have never happened. And even the Democrats admit that. Putin knew it would have never happened. And his pipeline would have never happened. A lot of things would have never happened. But this would never happen. And all those dead people, both Russian and Ukrainian, they wouldn't be dead today.
He barely flinched on that. He's like, shut the fuck up, dude. I'm spitting right now, okay? Shut the fuck up, Caitlin Collins. I'm talking. I'm the president, okay? When money talking, you listen. It's money calling. You pick up the fucking phone. When money talking, nobody cares about grammar. Shut the fuck up.
And all those cities that are blown up and disintegrated right to the ground, that wouldn't have happened. Okay, now, here's the problem. We've given so far $171 billion. They've given, meaning European Union, which is approximately the same size altogether as our economy. They've given about 20. So we're at 170, let's say, and they're at 20. You don't have to know too much about history to realize, or geography, to realize that they're a little bit more affected than we are, okay? So they've got to put up a lot more money because they're taking advantage.
This is how he did the NATO talk, too, and a lot of dumbasses were like, wow, Trump is like anti-imperialist. He's anti-NATO. He literally sidesteps away from the conversation by pointing out that like other countries, they're paying less. They should pay more for their own guns. But Republicans will eat this up. It doesn't mean we're going to give less money to the military-industrial complex. It just means he's going to negotiate so other countries pay more.
Of us like every other country did. That's why I ended NAFTA and replaced it with the USMCA, Mexico,
But on
Canada.
this issue, Mr. President, I should know, I don't know any Democrats who have said they don't believe Putin would have been invaded if you were president. But her question is, would you continue to give Ukraine money and weapons if you're elected? What's the answer?
I have a very good relationship with...
He's going to say, as long as they give me dirt on Hunter Biden. Just like I asked in that very perfect phone call.
President Zelensky, because as you know, he backed me up with the phony impeachment hoax number one, when he said the president didn't do anything wrong. So I happen to like. Yeah.
Dude, he's so funny. He's like, I like him. I like Zelensky. He's a funny guy.
He was an actor.
He was, yeah. Zelensky, he's gay, folks. I like him.
Very gay. Different strokes for different folks.
Funny guy.
Son.
What? Are you falling asleep? You want to leave?
Would you hate me?
No, not at all. I totally, I see you falling asleep.
I'm trying to, look, it has nothing to do with you.
No, I know.
All right. Peace out.
See you guys later.
If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
How would you settle that war in one day?
Because I'll meet with Putin, I'll meet with Zelensky. They both have weaknesses and they both have strengths. And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over. It'll be absolutely over.
Do you want Ukraine to win this war?
I don't think in terms of winning and losing. I think in terms of getting it settled so we stop killing all these people and breaking down this country. Now,
on that, you said you don't think in terms of winning and losing. Mr. President, can I just follow up on that because that's a really important statement that you just made there. Can you say if you want Ukraine or Russia to win this war?
I want everybody to stop dying.
When you were in office, you said that you respected President Putin. Do you still respect him today?
He made a tremendous mistake. He's a smart guy, you know. I remember I said he was smart, she was smart. He said President Xi of China, right, is smart. Okay, 1.5 billion people. He's the ruler of 1.5 billion people. I said, yeah, he's a smart guy. How dare he say he's smart? Of course he's smart. They want you to say he's a stupid person. Okay, he's not a stupid person. He's very smart. He's very cunning. And Putin made a bad mistake, in my opinion.
What was his mistake?
His mistake.
Bro, his answers for the Ukraine stuff, in the eyes of the overwhelming majority of the public, or not overwhelming, but like in the eyes of normies, is probably one of his strong suits. I know that this is the worst place to say this because this is a hyper online and mostly... This is a hyper online and hyper focused, very political community. And for them, it's like a non-issue. It's like, what? Of course, like, you're going to say, yeah, I want Ukraine to win. I want Ukraine to win. I'm sure everyone here feels that way to a certain degree. So, like, to you guys, it seems ridiculous that he won't say this because he's like, is he paid by Putin? Like, what the fuck? But to the normies, dude, this looks great. Like, He's literally, why the fuck should we care about this? Like, that's basically what he's saying. Because that's the average American's perspective on the matter. Is like, why do we give $170 billion to Ukraine when, you know, our children are suffering? You are underestimating the anti-Russian propaganda that has been running for years, dude. Nah. You don't have to be pro-Russia. You just have to not give a shit. And if you think Americans give a shit, you're out of your fucking mind. Americans didn't even give a shit about Afghanistan, brother. Are you crazy? After like 4 or 5 years, even the Afghan war, they were like, fuck it. What are we doing here? What the fuck's going on? You really think that Americans who don't even give a shit about their own wars give a shit about Ukrainians fighting against Russians who are invading their country? Get the fuck out of here. But if you ask the normie if they wanted Osama bin Laden to win, it wouldn't be I don't care. Yes. But if you ask normies, why the fuck is America in Iraq? They would say, I don't know. Yeah, it's expensive. It's costly. People are dying. It's kind of stupid. If you think they asked the average fucking person, should America keep sending $150 billion of weapons and money to Ukraine? Or not? Not with like we should use that on American citizens or anything like that. Like, not even the implication that you're going to use those funds on Americans. If you ask them straight up, yes or no, should we just give them this money or not? The overwhelming majority of Americans, with the exception of, liberal media followers, watchers, the people that read the New York Times regularly, people that watch MSNBC, people that watch CNN, the overwhelming majority of people are going to be like, what? No. No. It's not even necessarily because, like, they think that it's, like, an unjust war, or they think that it's, like, a just war, or anything like that. They have no dog in the fight. They just see numbers going elsewhere, and they get frustrated by it. The Pew numbers that you're saying, the numbers don't necessarily agree with what you're saying. For the record, you said, who say when it comes to Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the U.S. is providing support to Ukraine, is different than what I'm saying. You put a fucking dollar value on that, which is what Republicans do all the time, and you ask, is it okay to give this much money to Ukraine? The overwhelming majority of Americans are going to say no. Because if you ask Americans, like, is it okay what Russia is doing to Ukraine? Do you think that it's all right? Of course they're going to say, no, it's not all right. Of course, because what Russia's doing is not all right. And the average American still has the understanding that it's not all right.
Was going in. He would have never gone in if I was president. We used to talk about it there.
Do you believe that he is a war?
We used to talk about it. Fuck you mean? So Trump and Vladimir Putin had conversations about invading Ukraine? Wait, come on, man. That's a fun conversation. Just at least like be a little curious instead of reading a fucking script in front of you. What does that mean?
Criminal?
What?
Do you believe that Putin is a war criminal? He's responsible for the deaths of thousands of Ukrainian men and women.
I think it's something that should not be discussed now. It should be discussed later, because right now we have to get a war. If you say he's a war criminal, it's going to be a lot tougher to make a deal to get this thing stopped. Because if he's going to be a war criminal...
Damn. I'm not going to lie. I think, dude, that's... God damn, he's like actually not bad at this. No, he's not wrong. Okay, the real reason why he's saying this is because he doesn't think Vladimir Putin's a war criminal, right? That's the real reason why he's not saying it. But that is an expert way to deflect away, to make your, again, really fucking ridiculous talking point or ridiculous position come across like a good position. Oh, I'm just doing diplomacy. That's why I don't think we should say he's a war criminal. Come on, we're just doing it for diplomacy. Meanwhile, he doesn't think that Vladimir Putin is a war criminal. Let's be real. Of course he doesn't. Fuck, man. I mean, shit.
Criminal, where people are going to go and grab him and execute him. He's going to fight a lot harder than he's fighting, under the other circumstance. That's something to be discussed at a later date. Right now, we want to get that war settled. And I'm not talking about the money either. I'm talking about all the lives that are being... The number of people...
Trump is evolving into a politician. That's scary. You're out of your mind if you think that is a politician answer. No, the politician answer in this situation is yes, Vladimir Putin absolutely is a war criminal, and we have to do everything we can to stop him. And he's a big bad guy, and we're gonna kill him. Actually, I'm gonna kill him personally, kill him dead with my hands. That's the politician answer. It's like ridiculous. It's silly. It's unproductive. Even if it's true, like the fact that Putin is a war criminal, which he is, saying that is you have no power. Anyway, you know what I mean? You're not going to change anything. It's silly. He's doing a really good job of like appealing to the broader audience and not coming across like he's dick-sucking Vladimir Putin, even though he is dick-sucking Vladimir Putin. Like, he's not doing the talking points, so he's coming across as unique and closer to the average person than the politicians that they hear on television. And I think that that is what actually separates Donald Trump from the crowd, and it certainly separated him from the crowd in the previous election, not the one that he lost, but the one that he won.
People being killed in that war is far greater than you're hearing. When they blow up a city and those buildings come pouring down and then they say 2 people were injured, no, hundreds and thousands of people are being killed, and we have to get that war settled.
We have more with former President Trump. Right after this, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll be back with questions
It
from
blows
voters
my
right after
mind.
that.
It blows my fucking mind that he is, again, looking like fuck. I hate this so much. Donald Trump is a violent, virulent racist. He is a violent white nativist. He is a imperialist, just as every other fucking Democratic or Republican president has been. But he can come across, just like he did in 2016, like he is anti-fucking war again, as opposed to the Democrats who he portrays as pro-war. I hate this. It makes me so mad. It is so frustrating, especially because Democrats look like they are like hungry. They're bloodthirsty. To be fair, here's what I think. I'll take it one step further. I think in 2020 he lost partially because he couldn't come across like he was a peaceful dove against Joe Brandon, who wasn't in power when he was. So he couldn't even hit the peaceful dove talking points in the same way that he can right now. It's not a dub, but like it's helpful for him.
Do you still have any classified documents in your possession?
Are you ready?
Do you?
No, I don't have anything. I have no classified documents.
Are you
ready? By the way,
ready?
they become automatically
Why did he say it like
declassified
that?
when I took them. But
No, you
why?
have to declassify
Let me ask
them.
you a question. Why is it that Biden had 9 boxes in Chinatown, and he gets a lot of money from China? Why is that? And
There
why?
is no
why
evidence,
are
China.
Mr. President. No, you cannot
why
say
are
that. There
people
is no
bringing that
evidence
up?
of that, Mr.
And why don't
President.
they put this
What
guy
you're
Jack
referring
Smith
to
and his
is an
group
office
of
that he had.
thugs?
Mr.
Why don't
President,
they put him in charge of that?
I need to stop you right there because there's no evidence of what you just said there. What you're referring to there is an office that he had
No.
after
That's
leaving
at the University of
vice
Pennsylvania.
presidency.
Wrong.
He had a temporary office. But I want to ask you about another investigation
You're so
that you're
wrong.
facing.
You don't know the subject.
I do know the subject.
He had
and I
one
do
at
know the
University
facts,
of
Mr.
Pennsylvania,
President.
but he also had
I want to
9
move on to
boxes
another
in
investigation that you're
Chinatown.
facing, which is the one.
So what does this take? Like, does he think that like the Chinese Communist Party is operating out of Chinatown or something, and like that's why Joe Biden put the boxes there? Like, what the fuck? Do people think Chinatown is China? Like, what's happening? That's awesome. If the Republican base of voters have decided that Chinatown is actually in China and not in America, and is just a bunch of like American people living there.
One that's
She doesn't
happening
understand
in
it.
Georgia, where they are investigating your efforts to overturn the election results in the state of Georgia.
did nothing wrong. It was a perfect phone call.
Let me finish my question. At the center of that is that
Someone laughed. Someone audibly cackled at him saying it was a perfect phone call. At that point, it's like people, I think, recognize that he's just a fucking asshole. Maybe they realize that he's not even in the right there, but they don't even care. You know what I mean? At that point, it's content, which I agree, it is content. And it seems like the liberals over at CNN seem to agree as well.
Jordan Tullenberger is here. He's an undeclared voter from Hollis. He voted for you in 2020. Jordan, what is your question for President Trump tonight?
Thank you, Mr. Trump.
Thank you very much.
I'm 26. I'm a veteran. I help manage a private aviation company.
You want a job?
I'd love one. Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody very good.
I'm not for mandates or government interference in private business, but I've
Right.
seen Republicans going after us like DeSantis after Disney.
Right.
What would you do as president to protect us from government interference?
Well, I'm the one that
Wow, that's a mole, baby. I know a mole when I see him, dude. God damn, he just threw a fucking underhanded softball, dude. He's like, here, sir, this one's for you. Knock it out of the fucking park.
Really, right.
Private business, but I've
Right.
seen Republicans going after us like DeSantis after Disney.
Right.
What would you do as president to protect us from government interference?
Well, I'm the one that really wants to protect you. All of these fake investigations of me are about election interference. They think because I'm leading Biden by 11 points, 7 points, 9 points, I'm leading DeSanctimonious by a lot. By 40 points or 45 points. I think he ought to just relax and take it easy and think about the future, because right now his future is not looking so good. I will tell you.
Dude, no, don't say the sanctimonious. Hit him with a little Rhonda. Dude, one day Donald Trump's going to say little Rhonda, and that's how you guys are going to know he hired me. That's when you'll know. When he says little Rhonda, that means his team is listening. Little Rhonda. It's so good. It rolls off the tongue. Or Meatball Ron. Oh, God.
This. We are really putting it to Biden, but he's putting it to himself because the economy stinks, inflation is horrible, and the border is a disaster. And by the way he got out of Afghanistan was the single most embarrassing moment in the history of our country.
Mr. President, I have one more question for you here tonight, and I think while we're in front of the voters here in New Hampshire, this is a fundamental question for you. You are running in the 2024 race. If you are the Republican nominee and you are in that 2024 race, will you commit tonight to accepting the results of the 2024 election?
Yeah, if I think it's an honest election, absolutely, I would.
Will you commit to accepting the results of the election?
Yeah, I mean, he just he knows how to deflect away from that.
Regardless of the outcome.
You want me to answer it again? If I think it's an honest election, I would be honored to. And right now, we are so far ahead of both Democrat and Republican.
By the way, honest equals I win. So if I win, yes, it's honest. So I will, of course, be honored to. If I lose, bye-bye. Obviously, it's fake. That's so stupid. If I lose, it's rigged. If I win, then I'll be honored.
Republican. And you know what? If I don't win, this country is going to be in big trouble. It's so sad to see what's happening.
But no commitment there on the accepting the results regardless of the outcome.
If it's an honest election, correct, I will.
Okay, so not committing to accepting the 2024 election results or acknowledging what happened in 2020. President Trump, I want to thank you for coming here tonight. This is an important conversation with voters to hear and to have. Thank you to our audience and to our host, St. Anselm College. CNN's coverage continues with Anderson Cooper and Jake Tapper.
Wow, what a fucking disaster, dude. What a fucking disaster. Now, there was also voters in the town hall that weighed in on Trump's performance, and they gave him high marks. But before we move on to that, Libs on Twitter were not happy. They were not happy with this town hall, which is understandable. Obviously, like, if you truly care about, like, Donald Trump not becoming president again, like, of course, like, this is really fucked up. It was more so CNN's fault, or rather, this was done deliberately.